Wednesday, June 5th, 2024. You are listening to the Daly Dose Sports Podcast, and I am your host, Clint Daly, coming to you from the Mile High City here in Denver, Colorado. And we are back for another week of talking sports with a dose of common sense. Hey, happy Wednesday to you. Hope your week is off to a good start. Hope you, your family, your friends, everyone in your world is doing well. Hope you are all staying strong and you are all staying healthy. And right now, I want to make a very important announcement here on the Daly Dose, and it is a big one. You might have guessed it from the title of this episode, but it is a big one. You know, we started doing the Daly Dose back in, I actually think the radio show started in like October of 2013, November 2013, something like that. Like I said, it was a local radio show. We ran it for almost a year at Dab City Radio. And then the radio station did its own thing, as radio stations do. And of course, it ended up going belly up or whatever it did. I don't know what happened. It wasn't my fault. And so I began to try to figure out how to make a podcast. Now, I would love to say it took me like a week to figure it out. But that would be a huge lie because it took me like 6 months to figure out how to actually host a podcast. Not how to do the show. The show is the easy part. How to actually host a podcast. I mean, now it's easy. Now there are a million different platforms. They do everything for you. You don't have to do anything. Record it, send it to them. They do it all for you. But back then, I mean, I was using a public library website to host audio files. And then I was using a pointing website to direct the feed to where people could actually listen to it. And on December 10th, 2014, we hosted the very first episode of the Daly Dose Sports Podcast. You know, we tried to focus on sports. We tried to focus on sports with common sense, which right now is sorely lacking, not only in sports, but in the world. And we like to have a sense of history when we talk about sports, because so many times, especially the younger generation, and I understand, the younger generation, it's all they've seen. But it isn't all I've seen. And many times, we can kind of anticipate what is going to happen by what we have seen happen in the past. We may lean into a touch of sarcasm when we get the chance. And we do genuinely hope that we either inform you or make you smile, once or twice a week. Now, we actually went to a half-hour daily show for about a year and a half. I think that was from maybe 2017 to like 2019. We did it for almost 2 years. And then I ended up having to have surgery on a torn shoulder. And so we bumped it back to a weekly hour-long show, and we have stuck with that format ever since. Well, with all of the weekly shows that we've been doing since we started the podcast, and like I said, nearly 2 years of daily shows, we have now done over 800 episodes of the Daly Dose. Are we the biggest podcast out there? No, of course not. Are we the most popular? No. Are we the best? Obviously. Well, here is the big announcement that I have for you. The Daly Dose is moving. And I mean, we are physically moving. Because after spending the past 23 years just kind of southeast of the Denver metro area, we have decided as a family to move. You know, the Denver metro area is so crazy. It is so busy. We have people coming in from all these other states. And so it has just gotten to the point where it is so congested, and we just wanted to get out of the chaos. So we are moving up north. We are actually moving to a very small town up north. It's about 60 miles north of the Denver metro area. It's about 80 miles straight north of where I am right now. And it is a little town of only about 10,000 people. And, it feels like a much better fit for me, for my family. Things move a little slower up there. It's a little more quiet up there. We can actually see stars. We can see wildlife. We can go out, the back door and go fishing if we want to. We don't have the buzz of traffic in our ears. We don't have constant airplanes flying over. And we certainly aren't hearing all the people screaming and the crashes of traffic in our ears at all hours of the day. Okay, so what does this mean to the Daily Dose Weekly Podcast? Well, I am actually right now in the process of packing up my Daily Dose studio. I've got to pack things up because I've got movers coming. You think I'm going to lift all this stuff? You must be crazy. I've got movers coming, and they are going to move all this stuff up north for me. And it's going to take a little while to get everything completely back organized and ready to go. So while these things are being done, and while we are kind of going through this transition, I am not going to leave you with nothing to listen to. We are going to keep releasing episodes of the podcast, but we're going to release some different flashback episodes of some early days of the Daily Dose. Now, of course, we are heading into a slow time sports-wise anyways. I mean, the NBA Finals don't get started till tomorrow. The Stanley Cup Finals don't get started until, I think, Saturday. So we've got a slow time of year. Maybe this is the best time for all of this to happen anyways. Take it a little bit easy. And like I said, we have some interesting episodes coming for you. We have some things that maybe you never heard. Maybe you missed it. Maybe you weren't listening yet then. Or maybe you heard and you forgot. And then once we get all settled, we will decide where the podcast will go from there. We may change up the format just a little bit. A couple things that I'm kicking around. But the bottom line is we want to make it the best experience for the listener. We want to make it something that you're looking forward to tuning into every single week. Once we get all settled, we will go from there. If you have any input, I would welcome it. I would love to hear your thoughts. You can always email the podcast at dailydosesports@gmail.com. So we would love to hear from you. But like I said, for the next few weeks, we will have some flashback episodes. I think you will actually enjoy them. Got a few different things coming for you that I've put together that I think you'll actually really like to hear. So right now, sit back, relax, and enjoy a throwback episode of the Daily Dose. Okay, YouTube. Like I said, we've got some throwback episodes coming for you over the next few weeks. I'm not going to be putting new content up on YouTube right away, but you can go over and check out the full podcast. If nothing else, just go to dailydosesports.com and you can find everything over there. But when we do come back, we might have a little bit of changes coming. We'll see exactly how that goes. So go over and check out the full podcast if you'd like to listen to the throwback episode, and go over and check out the full podcast for the next few weeks. And then we will be back probably mid-July doing YouTube videos again. Hopefully. We'll see. Hope you all have a great week. I will see you sometime soon.